Yes guys, welcome back to the channel, and today it will be our Championship predictions for the 25-26 season. We've got a random wheel spinner to decide which order we do the teams. Let's get into it. Now the first team we'll be predicting is Oxford United. I've got them in 23rd, finished 17th last season. Top scorer was Gregory Lay, who's a left back, so that talks for itself. They just couldn't find goals last season, and I think they're going to go back down to League One. Where do you put them, Ru?
I put them 18th, but I actually disagree with you. I think they've made two decent signings in Dakir Maka from a random team called Heracles Almelo, but he looks like he could be a decent player, young. They also signed Spencer from Huddersfield. And they haven't really lost, apart from Rodriguez, they haven't really lost anyone from their squad last season, which didn't do that bad. So I do think they will stay up again in 18th.
Next random team is Charlton, which is obviously our club, and I've backed us to stay up just about. I put us in 20th space. We obviously promoted through the playoffs last season. Many saying out of the three we're the weakest that have been promoted. Many saying we're gonna go down, go in that bottom three. I've said 20th place. Obviously we lost Thierry Small to Preston North End on a free transfer earlier in the transfer window, which was not a good start, but we signed Sonny Carey from Blackpool, and then from there it was just absolutely brilliant, signing loads of players from Luton. Obviously Nathan Jones has a link with that club for his history there, and also Rob Apter from Blackpool, which a lot of Charlton fans are really excited for him in the Championship. So I've backed us to stay up in 20th place. What about you, Ru?
I've similarly agreed with you there. I've gone putting us in 16th. I think we also are a dark horse. I do think with our current squad and adding a few of those new additions, I think we can push on, and maybe it could go down to the last day or the last few games, maybe where we could be in a relegation battle, which I think we will be. But I think we have enough quality to stay up. So yeah.
Next up, we have got Birmingham City, which is a very interesting one. They've had a very good transfer window, actually, coming up from League One, winning the league, absolutely dominating the league, to be fair. I'm sure you can agree. And I'm sure a lot of...
and they broke the point record for League One.
Yeah, was it 101 or something?
111.
111 points in League One, absolutely smashed out of the park. With the amount of money they got, you can't really be surprised with that. And a lot of people are saying they're gonna do the double, maybe go up to the Premier League. And I'm gonna have to say I agree with them. I've put them in 3rd place, and I've put them to win the playoffs, which I know is very, very bold of me to say, but I reckon Birmingham are going to go to the Premier League. What about you?
I very much disagree with that. I've put them in 9th. I think 9th place is a bit more realistic. I think 3rd is a big stretch. I don't think they'll do that. I mean, they've signed good players with Damari Gray from on El Atafiq for a free. I probably butchered that. They've also signed Furuhashi for 9 million from Stade Rennes. Garner Hickman for 1.75. So they have heavily invested, but I still think the Championship is a whole different league to League One. I think they will get a bit of a reality check there. So yeah.
Right, Birmingham City, I put them in 3rd. Roofs put them in 9th. Next up, we've got Preston North End, a classic mid-table Championship team. Usually every season coming around mid-table, and I've put Preston in 15th place this season. Finished 20th last season, actually. 1 point off relegation, but they've had a very good window, so I think they'll improve from there. Signed Offia from Brighton until 2029 on a loan deal. They've also they've brought Jefferson in from Bournemouth, who has some Premier League experience, which I think will help their attack. Obviously Thierry Small from Charlton on a free, which I think is a very good transfer from a Preston fan's perspective. Some other transfers as well, but they have lost Freddie Woodman, who is a very good goalkeeper, to Liverpool on a free, but they did swap him out with Iverson from Leicester on a free as a replacement. So generally a pretty good window for Preston, and I reckon they'll finish mid-table in 15th.
I also agree. I've put them 15th as well. I mean, not much to say really, except they're a bit of a mid-table side. Seems like they've done some good business to maybe boost them up a few places, but nothing crazy for them to have any chance of promotion or anything. So yeah, 15th for me.
The first one we've agreed on, 15th for Preston North End. Next up on the list, we have got Southampton, a team that were relegated from the Premier League last season. And this is very bold from me, but I've put Southampton to win the league. I put Southampton to win the Championship. I just feel like comparing to like Leicester, obviously, who are going to get a 9-point deduction, which we'll talk about later when we get them. But I feel like compared to the teams that got relegated and Ipswich, the business they've done, not been anything you'd expect from a club. They've just played in Premier League. They've lost a lot of good players, like Liam Delap, for example, who's gone to Chelsea. And out of those three teams, which probably one of them will win the league, it's going to be Southampton for me.
Yeah, I've put them second, pretty much the same. I think they've not really, apart from Sulemena, they've not really lost any of their really good players. So I think that will help them a lot. They've also reinforced with Downs from FC Köln for a fee of 8 million and Horsey from Hoffenheim, who could be a good young player centre-back for I think about 3 million, something like that. So yeah, I think they'll have a good enough side to help them go back up, and with those two additions, I think they'll be even better. So yeah, second for me.
Pretty similar. So first for Southampton for me, and second for you. Next up is Queen's Park Rangers, QPR. I've actually backed QPR to stay up this season. Just about. I've put them in 21st place. And I will back them to stay up this season. Finished 15th last season, which is not bad, like a mid-table finish. But there's one signing I'm very happy with, and I'm quite jealous as a Charlton fan, is Kwame Poku from Peterborough. And I'm sure many League One supporters and followers will know how much of a good asset he is to have. Brilliant winger. They signed him for 913k, which is not too bad, I think. Ripped up League One defences, getting 12 goals and 10 assists in all competitions last season for Peterborough. So a very good asset for QPR, and I reckon he'll help them in staying up just about in 21st place.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I've also put them in 21st. I think with the additions they've brought in with Kwame Poku, who, on his day, is a very, very good player. I think could be a decent player at Championship level. I've not lost anyone crazy, so I think there will be a relegation battle just because they really only with Kwame Poku, that's really the only good player they've brought in. But I think it could, if he has a good season, I think it could be enough to keep them to stay up. So yeah, I think they'll survive on the last day, but it'll be tight. So yeah, QPR to finish 21st. So
another agreement, 21st for both of us then.
Yeah.
Next team is Leicester City, who are not in a very good situation right now. After breaking the FFP rules, they have received a 9-point deduction in the Championship season next campaign, which means that I have put them in 6th place just to make the playoffs. I'm sure if that point deduction wasn't a thing, Leicester would be would have high ambitions to make the top two. But for me, they're going in 6th after that point deduction. Obviously relegated from the Premier League last season. Not much business done. One transfer, Woyo Koulibaly from Parma, an Italian team, for £2.5 million. But other than that, not much business for Leicester, and that's why I put them in 6th just to make the playoffs.
I've put them in 7th, one place below you. I just think with that point deduction, that could really hinder their season. It probably will be a slow start for them, and with only one signing, it's not really much to say apart from I think they will miss out on the last day. Unless they sign a few more decent players, I think their chances of automatics are pretty much off straight away. So yeah, right, so you never know with Leicester.
Next team is Watford. I've got them in 18th place, finishing 14th last season. They've made some decent signings. Nathan Baxter, goalkeeper from Bolton, on a free transfer. Also Hector Cipriano from Peterborough on a free transfer, which is a very good deal. In my opinion, he's a very solid League One player, and I'm looking forward to see what he can contribute to that Watford team in the Championship. A few more players coming in from French teams like Udinese and Montpellier as well. So so a decent business for Watford, but I'm backing them to stay up and come in 18th place.
Yeah, I've got them similarly in 19th. I think with the team they have a few losses as well with Ebosele and Bayo. Bayo, who scored 10 goals last season, I think that could be a bit of a miss for them. But also, as well, as Isaac said, they have signed Nathan Baxter and Kipriano on a free. I think also don't forget their signing of Irakanda, something like that. I probably butchered that name as well. From Bayern for a fee of 3 million, who's a young attacking player. I think he could have a very good season. Depends how much game time he gets. But yeah, I don't think they will. It will be tight, but they should stay up with this team they have. I think it's good enough to help them survive. So yeah, 19th for me.
All right. Next team is Blackburn Rovers. I've put them in 17th place, which I think to Blackburn fans will be a bit harsh. But in my opinion, the squad that they've got is not really good enough to get into that top half of the Championship this season. As a Charlton fan, obviously with not much Championship experience, I could be like totally off with this, but I put them in 17th. Finished 7th last season, which was a very good finish. But they've lost Andreas Weimann, who got 9 goals and 2 assists last season, who was their kind of main man up top. Also, obviously, lost Rankin and Costello to Charlton. But I don't think he was like a major asset to Blackburn. But overall, I think Blackburn will be finishing 17th next season.
I've put them a bit higher with 12th. I think they have a good side with obviously Weeman joining. That's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, Weeman's leaving, mate.
Okay, don't worry, we'll pause it. We'll cut that.
Yeah.
I'll go again. Okay, yeah, I've put Blackburn 12th. I think they do have a good side. Obviously, also, I don't know much about Blackburn. When they've been in the Championship and Charlton been in League One, I haven't been following them too much. But I do know that they did lose one of their good players, Dolan, on a free. So, yeah, I think he could be a bit of a miss for them. But I know they do have a decent side, so I think 12th is a good shout for them.
Next team is Stoke City. I put them in 14th place. Finished 18th last season, only 2 points off relegation. But this may surprise a few, but I put them in 14th place because they've had a very, very good window so far. A few very good signings. They've signed Aaron Cresswell on a free deal. Also, Mubama from Man City on a loan deal, which I think is a very good signing for the rest of the season because he can be a very good asset to the kind of team like Stoke are. Because he wasn't getting much game time in the Premier League, so I think it's a good loan from City there. Sorba Thomas also as well from Huddersfield, I think is a decent signing. I think they could be a decent dark horse in the Championship next season, possibly even coming higher than I've put them, but I've held back a bit and put them in 14th place.
Yeah, so I put Stoke in 20th. They finished 18th last season and they survived on the last day with a 2-point difference from the relegation places. And I think they've made some good signings with Talaroff from Plymouth, who wasn't bad for Plymouth last season. Cresswell, which is a good signing from West Ham. However, he's a bit old, but he could probably do a good job in the Championship. And also Mbama on a loan from Man City, which we don't know much about, but he is a good young prospect for them. So he could have a good season there. We don't know yet. And I think it should be enough to keep them up. I think if Mbama can get a few goals with all the players they already have, I think, yeah, they've got a decent shout of just staying up. But 20th for me.
Next team is Bristol City, who I put 8th. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. They finished 6th last season. Obviously lost 6-0 over 2 games to Sheffield United in the playoff semi-final. They've signed Emil Rees Jacobson, I think, from who's a striker from Preston, which I think is a very, very good signing. Also, they've lost Naki Wells on a free to Luton, so it's kind of like a swap deal there as they're both strikers. So not much change there, I would say, in ability. So I put Bristol City 8th as they're kind of like a team that hover around the edge of the playoffs. So yeah, 8th for me.
I've also actually put Bristol City in 8th. I think with the team they already have, which did make playoffs last season, but it showed that their form in the last few games of the season did not help them going into the playoffs, which led them to losing 6-2 on two legs. I think with Emil Reece-Jacobson, that could be a good signing. Obviously scored about 10 goals for Preston in the Championship last season, but then also losing Naki Wells, who also scored 10 goals. So, I mean, you're not really losing many goals there. So, I think now with the Championship changing a bit, I don't think with the signings they made will get them back in the playoffs again. So, I think they'll just miss out and they'll finish 8th.
Next team is Portsmouth, who are back to stay up, actually. Quite comfortably. I put them in 19th place. Finished 16th last season, but they lost Kusini Yengi to Aberdeen on a free transfer. Yengi didn't play many games last season. I don't think he even scored last season, but we know what he is capable of. I think the season before he scored, got like 15 goal contributions in the 2023-24 season. So good player there, lost to Aberdeen. Some say Portsmouth could be a dark horse next season, but I reckon they'll just be hovering around the bottom 3, and I reckon the whole season they'll be around 19th, 20th, and yeah, they'll be a pretty consistent team this season.
Yep, so I've put Portsmouth to actually get relegated and finish 22nd. I just think they've not really done much apart from reinforcing with Swift from West Brom on a free, who had an alright season, but that's really the only notable sign they've made, and I think other teams are reinforcing around them, and I think if they're not going to reinforce themselves, that's going to cause them to get relegated. So yeah, I don't think they have enough to stay up, so 22nd for me.
Next team is Hull City, who I put to go down to League One next season in 22nd place. They finished 21st in the last Championship campaign, survived only through goal difference. They've lost 11 players already, signed Semi Ajayi on a free, who is a centre-back from West Brom, which is a decent signing. Also Dylan Phillips, who is a goalkeeper on a free from Rotherham. But both of those were free transfers because they cannot spend money on players due to their transfer embargo situation going on, which is not a good situation for Hull City at the moment, and I think it could lead to relegation. So I put them in 22nd place.
I've also put them to get relegated, but I've put them in 23rd, just one place lower. I think, yeah, in their transfer embargo until 2027 January, I think that can just, it's ultimately not helping them. Yeah, I mean, they've signed Puerto for 3.5 million, which was before their transfer embargo was placed. But yeah, so they've only signed one player, and I mean, they've lost nearly half their squad, so it's not looking good for Hull. So yeah, 23rd for me, relegated.
Next team is West Bromwich Albion. I put them in 7th place. Finished 9th last season, so 2 places higher. I expect them to finish this season. Not much business done. 3 in, 3 out, as you would say. Solid team, really, to kind of like hover around the edge of the playoffs. Sometimes scrape it, sometimes miss out, and I feel like West Brom this season will miss out just by 1 place. I don't think the transfers have been good enough to get them into the playoffs, but I also think they'll be a consistent team this season, so I put them in 7th place.
I disagree with you there. I've actually put them to finish in the playoffs, just 1 place above, in 6th. I think, yeah, they haven't really done much transfer business, but at the same time, I think they have a very good squad, and I think also Josh Madger could be one to look out for next season. He had scored quite a few goals last season. I think he could really kick on this season. So yeah, if he has a good season, I think they have a very good chance of getting in the playoffs. So yeah, 6th for me.
Team is Millwall, who I've actually backed to come 9th this season. I think Millwall fans will like that. They finished 8th last season, which was actually a very, very good finish for them. So I think they'll kind of keep up that consistency this season. They always kind of hover around the edge of the playoffs. But I think that their signing of Coburn from Middlesbrough for 1.3 million was a very good signing. but they have lost a few very important players like Aaron Connolly to Leyton Orient on a free deal, Honeyman to Blackpool also on a free deal, and also Zian Fleming to Burnley, who have just been promoted to the Premier League. And I think that Millwall will kind of keep that consistency, one place lower than last season, so I'll put them in ninth.
I put them actually to finish a bit lower in 13th. I think, yeah, for Millwall, they did have a pretty good season last season, but they have had a few losses in Zian Fleming, and yeah, I think he was a very good player for them last season. I think him going to Burnley could really weaken their defence, but I don't think it will affect them too much. I think also though Coburn from Middlesbrough for 1.2 million is a very good signing. I think if he can fill in what Zian Fleming did, I think they'll be just fine. So yeah, 13th for me.
Next team is Sheffield Wednesday. Not much to say really. I think we both put them in 24th, which is bottom of the Championship next season. And I think it's just kind of inevitable that they're going to be relegated. They're going to have to pull off an absolute miracle with the stuff that's going on at Hillsborough. Like it's dreadful, and obviously I send my condolences to like Sheffield Wednesday fans. And this situation is not the kind of situation as a Charlton fan that I would want my club to be going through. So I think that they will go back down to League One next season, and obviously their top scorer Josh Windass last season, he looks like he'll be going to Wrexham. I think Derby are interested as well, but I think he'll be probably out of the door. And also it's just like players not getting paid, like stands deemed unsafe next season, like top players leaving, cash flow issues, it goes on. And for Sheffield Wednesday, we both put them in 24th place. Next team is Wrexham, who a lot of people think they might actually be a dark horse, or I mean, I guess you can't really call them a dark horse anymore with the amount of money they got and the amount of attraction players are getting. But the thing is that I just don't think that they could, with the players they've got at the moment, that they can get anywhere above 16th is where I put them this season, because I just feel like with the amount of transfer they've made, it's pretty underwhelming. They look like they're about to sign Josh Windass, which is a good transfer, but it's not going to be enough. They signed Ryan Hardy from Plymouth as well, so they're strengthening that front line, I think, because they lost Paul Mullin on a loan deal to Wigan Athletic. Also, Stephen Fletcher is out of the doors. I think, for me, they'll get a reality check in the Championship. I don't want to speak too soon, but for me, Wrexham are not going to make it past 16th place.
Yeah, I've pretty much put them the same. 17th for me, I think. Yeah, they've not done much business, I think. I mean, yeah, it's like they signed Danny Ward, who wasn't really much of a player at Leicester. But they did sign Ryan Hardy from Plymouth, who got about 10 goals last season in the Championship, so I think he could turn out to be a good player for them. They also signed Kakes from Empoli, who was playing in the Serie A last season. Don't know much about him, but he seemed like he was a decent player at that level. So yeah, I think their squad would be good enough to stay up. I don't think they'll have too much of an issue. They could be in and around relegation a couple of times in the season, but yeah. So yes, I think that most fans would be happy with staying 17th. So yes.
Next team is Middlesbrough, who I think will have a bit of a fall off from last season. They finished 10th. I've put them in 11th. Their transfers coming through the door have been very scarce. One transfer so far, Owen Foster from Hull City, but that's the only transfer they've made, so I can't really say anything else about that. I'll put them 11th place.
I've put them again pretty similar, 10th, same as they finished last season. Yeah, I mean, they haven't signed anyone except Owen Foster, but I don't think that will change their squad that much. But yeah, they still have a decent squad to finish near playoffs. So yeah, I mean, they've lost Coburn, who was a good player for them, but it won't change anything too much. So yeah, 10th for me.
Next team is Derby County, who I've put in 13th place, which are a big big increase from last season where they finished 19th place. But they've had a very good transfer window so far, signing Patrick Agabayang, which I probably absolutely butchered that name, but from Charlotte FC, he's a striker, for 5.7 million. I haven't seen much of him, but for 5.7 million, there's got to be some talent there. Also Andy Vyman from Blackburn, which is a very good signing, and Colton Morris from Luton. So their business has been pretty good this transfer window, and I think Derby will comfortably stay up and come pretty much bang on mid-table in 13th place.
Yeah, I put them very similar in 11th. I think, with Adjiyam joining from Charlotte FC in the MLS, I think he could be a very good player at Championship level. Seems young and has a lot of potential. And Andy Wyman coming as well, which is another very good player at Championship level. He's proved himself as well with Bristol City. Also Colton Morris, who was in the Premier League not long ago. So yeah, they've done very well with bolstering their attack, and I think they've already got a very good defence with Erin Cashin notably as well. So yeah, 11th for me, very good business from Derby.
Next team is Sheffield United, who I put in 4th place, one space lower than last season when they finished 3rd. Didn't make it all the way through to the Premier League, through the playoffs, but they weren't far off at all. Signed Tyler Bindon on loan from Nottingham Forest until May 2026, which I think is a very good transfer. But other than that, I don't think there's been that much business through the door for Sheffield United. But I think with that squad, they'll still come 4th.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Yeah, 4th for me. Tyler Bindon, a very good player on loan from Nottingham Forest. Could be a very good player at that level. I mean, they've not lost anyone apart from Souza, who left, which could be a big loss. But
I think Raksaka as well, Palace.
Raksaka, yeah, he was very good for them. But I mean, it was a shame how their season ended last season with a poor run of form, which again led to them doing very poorly. Well, not very poorly, but they didn't do what they wanted to do in the playoffs last season. So yeah, I think they have another good shout. So 4th for me.
Next team is Norwich City, and I have put them a bit lower than they'll want to be next season, which is 10th place. They finished 13th last season, so it would be an improvement. But I think they'll be aiming for at least top 10, so like playoffs maybe. And they've signed Harry Darling from Swansea on a free transfer. Also Matthias Kvisgaarden from Brøndby IF, which is a team in Denmark, for 6.6 million. But a big loss for them was Bora Sainz, who moved to FC Porto for a massive fee of £11 million. So I think that'll be a big loss for Norwich, but also with those transfers in, I think there'll be a decent Championship team finishing in 10th place.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I don't think they'll finish 10th. I've put them in to finish 5th place. And I think with the very good business they've done, they have a very, very good shout of finishing playoffs. And I think even though they've lost Signs and Rowe, I think that they've replaced them very well with Kivsgarden from Brøndby and Darling from Swansea and other players as well. So I think 5th is very, very good for them. So yeah, finally Norwich seem like they're back on the up, back to the Prem. So yeah, 5th for me.
This team is Swansea City, and I have put them to finish 12th next season, which is not far off from where they finished last campaign, which was 11th. Made some decent signings though. Signed Ethan Galbraith from Leyton Orient, who is a very good right back. Played against us in the playoff final. Signed them for £1.3 million. Also Burgess, who is a centre back from Ipswich on a free transfer. Another good signing is Ricardo Santos from Bolton, on a free transfer as well, centre back, with good experience. But they did obviously lose Harry Darling to Norwich on a free, which we just spoke about. But I think Ricardo Santos is a decent replacement for him, so I put them in 12th place.
Yeah, I put them a bit lower, 14th, but I think they've made some good business with Santos from Bolton, who's a beast at League One level for a very long time. So that could be a good signing for them. and as well with Burgess from Ipswich on a free, which is a very, very good signing. He had a good spell in the Prem with them when he was needed. So yeah, Burgess and Santos should reinforce the defence.
And for the penultimate team from the random wheel is Ipswich Town, who I have put in second place, I believe, next season, who I think will actually be kind of toying with first place with Southampton, who I put to win the league. But I think it won't be too many points between them. So I think Ipswich, with the decent business they've done, obviously lost a few good players, but I feel like they'll be going right back up to the Premier League, coming in second place next season.
Put Ipswich in first. I think they have a very good squad who got relegated from the Premier League quite unfairly. I think they should have probably stayed up. But yeah, they'll be a bit annoyed with themselves. But I think they can bounce straight back up. And yeah, they've lost some of their players with Luongola leaving and other players like him who would have helped them even more comfortably win the league. But I still think with Davis who's staying, which was a big bolster for them. So yeah.
And for the last team chosen by the random wheel generator is Coventry City, who I put in fifth place in the playoffs, who actually finished fifth last season. So I think they can do it all again this season. A very good signing, which a lot of people are talking about, is Kesler Hayden from Aston Villa for £2.2 million, which I think is a very good signing for Coventry. And I feel like fifth place will be a fair end of the season position for them. So yeah, that's my prediction.
I put them a bit higher in third place. I think it's been a long time coming for Coventry. They've been jumping around mid-table, but I think they finally seem like they're getting somewhere. I think they could be on their way back to the Premier League very soon. I think, yeah, Kesler Hayden is a very good signing from Aston Villa, and they've not lost anyone notable, so yeah, third place for me.
And for our playoff winners, I've gone with Birmingham City to go up to the Premier League.
I've gone with Coventry. I think, yeah, Coventry, as I said, they're on the up. They've kept most of their players, and with the additions of a couple like Kesler Hayden, yeah, they'll have a good ride in the Championship, and they're on their way to the Premier League.
Anyway, that's it from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to put your predictions down in the comments, and I'll try and react to those and reply to those comments. But we will be vlogging the Charlton Wealdstone friendly, which is on Wednesday, so stay tuned to watch that one, which will probably be released around Thursday, Friday. So make sure to watch the Wealdstone vlog, and hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you.